In the dry heat and dust of southern India, hundreds of years before kennel clubs and breed standards were even spoken about, existed a powerful Mastiff-type dog, which was shaped by a world that demanded strength, endurance, and fearlessness in a very large package. This is the story of the Alangu Mastiff, a huge guardian and hunter, which is now functionally extinct. The Alangu Mastiff was developed over generations in the Thanjavur region of Tamil Nadu in southern India. Limited historical records suggest that this was a result of crossing the Sindh Mastiff and the Alangu Hound. To understand the Alangu Mastiff, let's break down these two predecessor breeds. The Sindh Mastiff was a large Molossus breed from the Sindh region, now in modern-day Pakistan. It was used as a formidable guardian breed for landowning families. Estate protection and territorial defense for vast acreages is essential with potential intruders, so a breed was required to exhibit aggression and sheer presence. The Alangu Hound, in contrast, was to be a much smaller, athletic hunting breed. Less documented than the Sindh Mastiff, it most likely provided the stamina and athleticism to the cross. The amalgamation of these breeds looks to be a deliberate attempt to create a property guardian and a hunter for dangerous large game. The result was the Alangu Mastiff, with historical traditions showing that this type may have existed even since ancient times and was part of the Persian army. While definitive proof is limited, as records just simply aren't always kept sufficiently, this aligns with many other countries of the time. Molossus-type dogs were widely used across the world in armies, whether fighting on the front lines or protecting military camps. Whether marching with armies or standing watch over rural estates, the Alangu Mastiff was shaped by necessity rather than aesthetics. This was not a dog bred for show rings. It was bred for survival, confrontation, and control. Physically, the Alangu Mastiff was imposing as it was standing roughly 30 inches at the shoulder, with likely examples of even larger individuals. The body was muscular and lean, supported by strong legs giving extra reach and mobility, unlike some other modern Mastiff breeds. A deep chest signaled increased endurance and lung capacity. Likely weighing well over 100 pounds, this is an athlete at heart. Not a dog to be owned by the inexperienced or weak-willed, uniquely. The breed was described as having two primary types or lines, one being a smoother-coated Molosser with athleticism at the forefront of their appearance, the other being a heavier and more rough-coated, rugged appearance. As expected, with no breed standards or kennel clubs, these were regularly bred together as function was preserved over any aesthetic purpose. The ears were likely cropped in many cases, particularly as they are working lines or unfortunately even fighting lines. No fixed preference has been recorded as far as we can tell currently, but given the utilitarian nature of the breed, it would have been more common in this period. In rural southern India, huge stretches of farmland were also subject to wild boar, animals which even modern-day mixed breeds can struggle to take down and hold. A high tolerance to pain, jaw strength, and innate aggression are required to subdue these types of animal. The same physical presence, which may inflict fear into intruders and make them never set foot on the owner's land again, does not apply for the wild boar population. As mentioned briefly before, the Alangu Mastiff was unfortunately used as a fighting dog. Its prey drive and gameness fitted in with the culture of dog fighting, leading to increased aggression through selective breeding for the pit. The development likely contributed to its notoriety and decline thereafter. With a temperament developing quickly for ferocity, its role as an estate guarding often became valuable during wartime. However, as societies changed, the once valuable temperament became problematic in an urbanizing society. Despite similar European Mastiff breeds becoming gradually refined or watered down, sometimes to fit the changing society, there was little incentive to soften its instincts for family life. The once ferocious war dog of the fighting pit's reputation was too much for the average family. Another reason for the breed's decline is that they were slowly absorbed into what we now call the Bully Kutta in the Punjab region. Sometimes called the Pakistani Mastiff too, it shares very similar physical and historical similarities with the Alangu Mastiff. Historians generally believe that the modern-day Bully Kutta lines carry strong Alangu Mastiff ancestry, albeit a diluted version. That being said, the Bully Kutta can easily reach above 180 pounds and is extremely athletic compared to many modern Mastiff breeds. Also, we must remember, as bloodlines merge, there simultaneously is an absence of breeding clubs which partly are designed to preserve the breed through bottlenecks like this. The Bully Kutta is still a popular breed in this part of the world, and even exported to the West due to its improved suitability. Depending on the source, sadly today, there are roughly 20 Alangu Mastiffs in India, but only a fraction of these actually have original blood. What remains of the Alangu Mastiff likely survives only in fragments within related breeds. The modern Sindh Mastiff and certain Bully Kutta strains may retain elements of its structure and temperament, but the original blend developed in the Thanjavur region, combining Mastiff power with hound agility, is likely largely lost. Its story reflects a broader historical pattern. Working landrace breeds tied closely to specific cultural and environmental needs often disappear when those conditions change. Without formal documentation or preservation efforts, they fade quietly. Unlike many European breeds that were standardized and exported, the Alangu remained regional and purely functional, preserved through practice rather than institutions. From battlefields to estates and large game hunts, the Alangu Mastiff was shaped by necessity, not companionship. It belonged to a time when strength, loyalty, and ferocity were essential traits. Whether it can be restored in its original form remains uncertain. What is certain is that its influence endures in the Mastiff types of the Indian subcontinent. Even if the pure Alangu disappears, its legacy survives in the bloodlines and history of the dogs that followed. As a distinct breed forged in Thanjavur, however, it may soon exist only in record and memory. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like and subscribe and suggest any ideas for future videos on your favorite dogs. See you soon!